Hey, welcome to another episode of Chad's Beer Reviews with guests for the first time in a long time.
Woo!
This is Cynthia and Justin, known them for years. They moved to Florida like 6 months before I did, and I followed them down here. They work in the beer industry. You guys want to give your credentials, I guess?
I used to work in the beer industry, GABF Judge number 9. Also a diplomaed brewmaster.
And I'm a brand representative for Motorworks Brewing for the East Coast of Florida.
Cool. So the point is they work or have worked in beer. And also, we met at doing a homebrew competition.
BJCP in New York at the Albany Pump Station.
So show them what we're reviewing today, although I'm sure they already know. Yeah, so Founders CBS. They haven't released this in, I think, 5 or 6 years. And
Oh, wow.
I mean, Founders KBS is like probably my favorite beer, but the CBS is like an even more special
I've
version
never
of it.
had it, to be honest.
This one?
Nope.
Yeah, I haven't had it since 2011. So we're going to review this to style 33B, specialty wood-aged beer. This style is intended for beer aged in wood with added alcohol character from previous use of the barrel. Bourbon barrel, other similar beers should be entered here. And the thing about this one is that it's they put maple syrup in barrels for some reason. And then after the maple syrup's out, they use it for bourbon, and then after that, they age CBS in there. So, overall impression, a harmonious blend of the base beer style with characteristics from aging in contact with wood, including alcoholic products previously in contact with the wood. The best examples will be smooth, flavorful, well-balanced, and well-aged. Let's dive right into the aroma. What do you guys get?
Fortunately, I don't get any notes of oxidation. No paper, no cardboard.
I get coffee.
A lot of coffee,
Yeah.
little smidge of jalapeno, which is pretty common when you're dealing with coffee beers. The compounds, the aroma compounds are very similar.
I get like mocha, like a chocolate and coffee kind of thing.
Baker's chocolate.
Yeah.
A little bit, you can definitely get a little bit of that alcohol bite on the fusel from the bourbon. Smell a little hint of wood barrel.
Yeah, there's a little vanilla.
Definitely some vanilla from the barrel, from the wood aging process. Not getting a ton of maple right off the nose. We'll have to see when we taste it what that's going to be like.
What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, vanilla. I was picking up as maple, but
Do you get the
more I
coffee?
think about it. Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, that's the first thing I got, and I was trying to dissect a little more.
Let's check the specs. Varies with base style. A low to moderate wood or oak base aroma is usually present. True. Other aromatics often include a low to moderate vanilla, caramel, toffee, toast, or cocoa character, as well as any aromatic associated with alcohol, distilled spirits, wine, etc. True. Previously stored in the wood, the added alcohol character should be smooth and balanced, not hot. True. Some background oxidation character is optional and can take a pleasant sherry-like character and not be papery or cardboard-like. So it's definitely there for the guidelines.
Yeah.
And it's also pretty wonderful. I would go pretty high on this. I was going to say 10 or 11. I'll say 10 and maybe I'll come back.
I would say 11 on aroma for what it's for. The only reason I wouldn't give it a perfect score is because I'm not getting any maple.
Let's talk about appearance. Well, obviously, inky black.
Very inky black.
We'll be able to tell if it's clear once I get into it. It kind of looks like Guinness.
It does.
Like a really nice,
Got nice lacing.
creamy froth.
Good lacing on the glass.
You can see the alcohol legs too.
Good beer, clean glass is what you always want to start with when you're chasing beers.
Yep.
Definitely very nice collapsing foam. Not dissipating, and we poured this well over 2-3 minutes ago now.
Yeah.
We started out with maybe 2 fingers ahead, which is what you want. Now you're down to like a 1/4 inch, which is about normal. Definitely
And,
some good lacing.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you have
good
this
legs.
like this much alcohol, this is 11.7 is big beer,
It's a
and
big
there's
beer.
still foam on it. That's really impressive.
Yep.
Let's
Must
check
have had a
this.
very high Plato start.
Yeah, the specs on appearance varies with base style, often darker than the unadulterated base beer style, particularly if whiskey, bourbon barrels are used. It's kind of a moot on this style because it's dark to begin with. Beers aged in wine barrels or other products with distinctive colors may impart a color to the finished beer. Yeah, so I'll go full 3 out of 3 on appearance. There's really no reason
Yeah,
not
there's
to.
no reason not to.
All right, so flavor, this is the best part. Cheers and Merry
Cheers.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Cheers.
Been too long.
I get a lot of coffee.
There was that maple.
Yeah, the
Maple
maples
came
and
charging
flavor.
out.
Right at the beginning, and then I got like coffee in the middle. And
A little syrupy, cloying on the up front, but a little tannic, a little dry on the after. Definitely a fusel alcohol notice to this. I would say a year from now, you might not notice that as much.
Fusel?
You get that hot bite of fusel alcohol.
Yeah, I mean the alcohol's there, but it's like, to me, it's tame. I like right away. I got like first thing first was like coffee to me, and then kind of chocolates in the middle. Back end, getting like the vanilla.
It's like a mouthful of maple syrup to me. The biggest thing that comes through is maple syrup, followed by definitely got some tannin.
I get a lot of sweetness.
A little astringency on the after bite. No hop bitterness to speak of.
Yeah, no hop character really.
No hop character. It's cloying, honestly. It's a cloying, and it's a little flatter than I would have expected it to be.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about mouthfeel next. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, I got the maple in the beginning, and then the coffee in the middle, and a lot of that residual sweetness in the aftertaste.
Cocoa beans.
Do you think it's cloyingly sweet? Like,
a little.
Like she thinks, or?
Well, I mean, initially it was just like a lot of different flavors all at once.
We were drinking it like a little warm, so it'll be a little bit more sweet that way. Like combined with the alcohol. Yeah, but I mean, I think it's a pretty, as they say, a harmonious blend or marriage or whatever. Like the base stout or the base style underneath the style is imperial stout. So, are you getting like a huge roasted malt character, or?
I'm getting some roasted malt character, but I am getting a lot of that sweetness to balance it out. It's almost like a really well-aged Scotch.
Yeah.
You know how like smooth that goes down. That's just my impression of it.
What do you think, Cynthia?
I have definitely a different palate, I think, and I get like just off the front, I get very sweet. It's really got good viscosity to it based on what you would think it would be. A little flatter than I would like, but that also lends to how sweet it tastes when you have a little bit less carbonation than you would want. You do tend to pick up more because there's not anything really breaking up that sweetness. That's the only thing that I can see that I would ding it on, but because it is aged and it is a barrel beer, that would be somewhat more expected, especially
it's a fresh bottle of an aged brew.
Yeah, it hasn't really had a long time to condition itself within the bottle, even though it's not secondary fermented.
This is like people age Founders KBS, and when you do, you lose all the chocolate and coffee that way. It's like I would drink that fresh. Let's go over the specs. So flavor varies with base style. Wood usually contributes a woody or oaky flavor.
I don't get that.
I get it as vanilla, you know.
More vanilla than anything.
That's the next sentence. Other flavors are typically present include vanilla from vanillin in the wood.
That's what I get.
Caramel, butterscotch, toasted bread or almonds from toasted wood, chocolate, coffee, cocoa from charred wood or bourbon casks.
I get that.
And alcohol flavors from other products previously stored in the wood. The wood and or cask derived flavors should be balanced, supportive, and noticeable, which should not overpower the base beer style. True. Well, there's a lot of. I say the base beer style, which, if you're going to say the base beer style is an imperial stout, or are you going to say that the base beer style is a spice or a vegetable?
Right. Either way, I'd say it's pretty overpowered. But I would assume in this type of style and this big of a beer with this many different things going on, you would want a certain overpowering.
Yeah.
So you don't want it to be like any other imperial stout.
Some background oxidation character is optional, although should take on a pleasant cherry-like character, not be paper or cardboard-like.
I'm not getting that. Oxidation. I don't get, and I love that, because if you think about things like 𝓑𝓮𝓻𝓲𝓷, I get a ton of oxidation, but that's more expected in a barley wine.
Yeah, like today I reviewed Dogfish Head 𝓵𝓛 𝓵𝓏. It was like honey lemon sherry.
Yeah, that's tough for me because I like sherry and it has its place, but I don't like it in my beer.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I think that this did a very good job on keeping it sweet, keeping it within style, bringing that maple forward. Maybe not so much on the aroma, but you definitely get the bourbon. I'm not getting a lot of wood, which is good because I don't like oak age anything. So I like that that's kind of lacking. So for me, it's definitely something.
Yeah, but you got to judge the style. There should have some wood. I mean,
it could just be that it's so overpowering for me with the maple flavor.
It says wood usually contributes a woody or oaky flavor. It doesn't say wood must contribute.
Must, yeah. I do get vanillin, so it's there.
Yeah. What do you think score? I'm going to say 17, maybe 18. Yeah, I think I'm say 18.
I would put it right around the same because it's not anything on the, everything on the label is there. I get coffee, I get chocolate, I'm getting maple, I'm getting bourbon. So, I mean, if it was a little bit, a touch more balanced and a touch less of tannin on the finish, for me, it would be a perfect score. But that's tough to get to a perfect score for me.
What did you score, Justin?
I gave it the 17.
17?
A lot of that residual sweetness. It's
See, I don't get
staying on the
residuals.
Yeah.
I'm getting like an afterburn of tannin.
What's the aftertaste? To me, it's like a cloying, like chocolate, like if you just ate chocolate candy.
Yeah, it is.
Baker's chocolate. Like
Yeah.
I get like a bitter, astringent, tongue drying, like puckering sensation a little bit.
I would describe the mouthfeel as, I mean, it's definitely full bodied and it's like medium low carbonation. It's very smooth. It's like velvety, which I think helps with the drinkability. Because it's usually like the thicker the mouthfeel, the lower the carbonation, and vice versa. That's why Bud Light is like super champagne carbonated.
Right. Yeah.
It's the alcohol is there, but it's really gentle. You could sip this, but you certainly can't chug it. Not that I would want to.
I would put this at a 2. If I had to put a carbonation number on this, I would say this is like a 2.35. If I could bring this up to a 2.5, I think that it would do better on the carbonation.
Volumes of CO2. How would you describe it? Mouthfeel?
Well, yeah, very smooth, very low carbonation.
How do you describe the drinkability? Is it a challenge or is it a sipper or?
Yeah, definitely a sipping beer. I mean,
is anybody else getting a little black pepper in there? Getting some peppery notes.
Maybe that might be from the wood. I got that from the Dogfish Head today, actually.
Definitely getting a little black pepper in the back and like a good 𝓑𝓻𝓮𝓬𝓻𝓲 black cracked pepper with a little, just a touch of spice on there, which is really going well with the top, I think.
Let's check the specs. Mouthfeel varies with base style. Wood can add tannins to the beer depending on the age of the cask. The tannins can lead to additional astringency, which should never be high, or simply a fuller mouthfeel, true. Usually exhibits additional alcohol warming, true. Higher alcohol levels should not result in hot beers. Aged, smooth flavors are most desirable. Tart or acidic characteristics should be low to none. I'd probably go, I'd say 4 out of 5 on mouthfeel.
Yeah, I wouldn't go any higher than that. It's definitely, for me, if the carbonation came up like a tiny bit,
yeah,
I feel like maybe.
I agree, yeah, like a little bit more.
Yeah, this is probably a 2.35 in the bottle. And 2.5 would have been perfect, which is what you would want in a regular stout, or a lager.
Or how about having this on nitro?
Now the small bubbles of the nitro carbonation, you can't even call it carbonation because it's not carbon. But nitro beer, this would probably really be well, because it would really make the velvety smoothness come forward.
You're saying 4 out of 5 on mouthfeel?
Yeah.
What are you saying, Justin?
I'd say 5 out of 5.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice thick beer, like as it should be. And it's something that's like, it has a really good mouthfeel. I don't know. I mean,
my overall impression, I'm gonna put 8 on that, because I think it's a little overpowering in the sweetness. The carbonation wasn't there for me, and I think it's got a little too much astringency on the finish. I think the balance is a little bit off. That's just the first time I've ever drank this, my tongue feels dry right now from the beer.
Yeah, but that's acceptable. It says the tannins can lead to additional astringency, which should never be high.
But it seems high to me. That's my only thing.
What's your frame of reference?
It's a little high for me, and having to do so many tastings and being in the brewery for so many years now, that always to me was one of what I gauge double IPAs on. Like if the astringency was a little too over the top, something had the fermentation was a little off or something, may have lended to that. So I'm gonna give it an 8.
What's your total score?
So let's see here.
What'd you give it, Jeff?
For the overall?
Yeah, overall.
The 9. I mean,
I'm gonna say 10. Oh, sorry to interrupt you.
No. The only thing with the flavor was a lot of that residual sweetness drying out my tongue. Yeah. Like the cloying. So. Yeah.
But I mean, as far as a specialty wood aged beer, this is ideal representation of the style.
I gave it a 44.
I got 45. Which is a 10.
Pretty darn close.
And I might even bump the aroma back up to an 11.
I gave the aroma an 11.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go 11 out of 12 on aroma.
I'm gonna say outstanding, excellent for me.
I got a total score of 46.
So you're outstanding.
Yeah, I think that's.
I don't know if this is world class for me, but how many other exemplary styles are in this beer?
Yeah.
Who else does something?
I mean,
like
I think this is as good as KBS, which comes out every year.
I feel like KBS is more balanced.
We have to do a side by side.
And it's not as hot. I find this a little hot.
I think KBS is hot when it's fresh, and then it mellows.
And I think that this would mellow. I think this would mellow 6 months from now. You might find it more enjoyable. I might find it more enjoyable.
Cool.
Although I do like it.
All right, so I got 46. You got 44. So that's
45.
45.
We're
Man,
pretty
all
damn close.
Yeah. Well,
That's
45
good.
is the average, so
Yep.
that would be a 10 out of 10 on my scale. So. All right, so thanks to Cynthia and Justin for having me over and letting me share this beer with them.
Yeah, thanks for sharing with us.
Yep.
What a treat.
Thanks out there for watching. We'll see you next time. Cheers.
𝓑𝓻𝓮𝓻𝓲𝓷. Merry Christmas.
Somebody brewed it, Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Review. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.